Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Eric Luck of the Draw McCabe.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to be involved.
He put on all of his leprechaun attire today as well. Beard.
The red beard.
Yeah.
Red beard.
That was most of it, but still.
Actually, that reminds me, on Reddit I saw, where was it? They were celebrating
Ginger Day.
Ginger Day.
I think so.
And it was like a sea of people.
You're not allowed to use that term, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. One time I got yelled at.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about you.
Anyway, a sea of people with red hair.
It's pretty cool.
With white shirt. So one lady had a black shirt, but everybody else had a white t-shirt on. Anyway, it was a cool picture, and I sent it to Eric. Said he needs to go to this celebration.
I think me and Jackie and Derek and that's it from here are going.
Does BK? No, AK?
AK.
Yeah, AK,
Yeah.
definitely.
He's a redhead. So
It's like
anyway,
BK.
I know, yeah, wrong K. We have also Mr. Roberts got a cold McCall.
I'm sick.
He's sick.
My feelings are hurt as well.
So if his voice sounds a little deeper, it's because
it's
he's got a little bit of a cold going on.
That's right. It's more manly, but not by choice.
Right.
It was a rough weekend for me, but I'm on the upswing now.
Nice. So anyway, Luck of the Draw, as we talked about it last weekend, our last episode is happening today here in Emporia. It's going to be amazing. Ricky Wysocki, Paige Pierce are already here in Emporia, Kansas, and the fun begins around 1 o'clock when Ricky will be signing some of his...
Holy cow, I'm happy he's going to be signing all those discs, and his wrist is hopefully going to be tired for the skins match.
Ooh, more money for you.
We sold a lot of discs, a lot of two-time world champion commemorative discs, some with a special Dymax, and then some have the new burst technology. We're
The
calling
burst
it.
looks sick.
I know,
Yeah, it
it's
does
just a
look
really
cool.
nice,
Yeah, they're
cool-looking
cool.
die, or not it's the actual
Yeah,
plastic. It's not a
it's in the
dye job.
plastic.
It's in the plastic.
Yeah, it's a different type of injecting different colors into the plastic.
so
it
go
looks
to-
beautiful.
Go to dynamicdisc.com, and in the search, I think you can search burst, and you'll be able to see an example of some of the stuff. So, or you can just go to dynamicdisc.com/Ricky, and you'll be able to see his specific ones. But they just turned out really cool. In fact, I'm going to do an example. Yes, if you search the word burst, you'll see an example of the new burst looking plastic. So it's really cool stuff. And tonight, Luck of the Draw. I'm sorry, go back. The signing is 1 to 4, and then at 5 o'clock, Ricky and Paige are going to do a clinic, and then right after the clinic, we're doing a Luck of the Draw skins match where Anthony and myself will be filming it. We're going to see if we can get Denise to come out and do some Facebook Live of it. It's just going to be really cool. So if you're listening to this and Tuesday has already happened, make sure you check out our YouTube page, our Facebook page for all the videos and the fun stuff happening. Going to give away a lot of money and have a lot of fun with Ricky, Eric, and Paige at the Luck of the Draw skins match.
And go share that video of me hitting the ace.
Oh, he's calling it now.
Oh,
What ace?
I don't know. We'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're
I'm going
calling
to
it
try
now.
to ace tonight.
It's
I'm
for
going
the
to try to
future.
ace the peninsula hole.
Oh, that'll be good. We need to get that. So now, if you missed
see.
today's, you weren't able to come to Emporia, but you're in the Kansas area, make sure August 12th, this Saturday, that you go out to there because they're doing it at which course are they doing it?
Swope.
Swope Park out at Kansas City. One of the more well-played courses, right? Of course, a lot of people.
It's
I
one
know
of the.
Waterworks is
I
one.
think it may even be the original Kansas City course.
Oh, okay.
Nice. That's awesome.
So you got there. Now, if you're not even in this area, if you're in what would it be?
Northeast?
The northeast area on September 5th.
Correct. Tuesday, September 5th.
They're going to do it again out at the Hollows
Correct.
course, one of the courses that Eric McCabe Championship course design that he did out there. They're going to go out there and they're going to do the same thing out there, and that's going to be awesome.
And if you're in the area, you're listening, go to Breaking Chains or go to the league nights on Wednesday nights at the Hollows, and you can purchase tickets. I know we've already sold 10 golden tickets out there.
Now, what
Nice.
the golden is,
It's $100, and that's a guarantee that you're playing at least one hole.
I already sold 10 of them.
Ola already sold 10 of
That's
them.
awesome.
So
So super exciting stuff, guys. Make sure you do. Yes.
And all three of us will be at all three of those, right?
Yes,
Are you going to
correct.
Kansas City this
yes,
weekend?
I'm going to
Okay,
Kansas City, and I think I'm talking to Anthony into going
4. He says 4.
for.
Oh, you're
Oh,
going
he
to.
wants-
But are you going to New Hampshire also, though? Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
3.5.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna have film and having a lot of good fun, and the purpose of us filming is not only just to have really cool footage for you guys to watch, but hopefully we can create a promotional because this is something that we are trying to get Ricky and Paige to do more often in different areas. So
Absolutely.
make sure you show some interest so we can go to the big guys that make all the big decisions and go, look at this. People really want this. We think it's going to be really cool and really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And a great chance to actually play side by side with this person, with a world champ as your doubles partner.
I know.
And make money.
Yeah, I mean, even if there wasn't payout, I think there would be a lot of people interested in just being like, oh, I got to partner with Ricky Wysocki for a hole.
Yeah.
And we got, a birdie 2 or eagle 2 on this crazy hole. And they'll tell that story for a long time. I know I would.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool stuff. What else is going on? Let's see. Last weekend, I got to play some disc golf. Jones West, me, Robert, Anthony, and Drew Nichols from the Dynamic Discs Warden store went out and played a round, and we played for tags. And Drew got the number 2 tag.
He did. We gave handicaps. Right? Yeah. So I started with no handicap. I gave Anthony 7 strokes. And then Bobby and Drew 15 strokes. Now, I'd never played with Drew before.
And he had the round of his life.
Yeah. I mean, he shot a 62 or something.
Now, to be fair, he said he normally shoots in the 60s.
Yeah, but yeah. He was. He certainly did not need fit. Like, after the first 2 holes, I was like, well, Drew's winning this thing. We gave him way too many. But
he's pretty
Anthony
solid.
played. Yeah, he's not bad. Anthony played pretty solid too.
He shot a 55.
He shot his personal best for a 55. That was pretty cool.
PB.
And then you shot a 54.
I shot a 54.
And I did my average of 60.
No, you were in the 70s.
Oh, 70s. Sure,
yeah.
I had a bad round.
Yeah, me too. But it was okay.
So, yeah, we had fun. And I know, Eric, you played Jones West at least on Sunday. I know that
I played
much.
the same. I got there a little later than you guys, so we played our own. Well, we didn't really play tags, but we just kind of kept score.
Yeah.
Myself, Denise, Derek, and Nikki, and Darren. We all went out and played.
Nice. Yeah.
Played a round of Jones as well.
Nice.
Just kind of a more casual, relaxed, fun round.
All right. So 17, the par 5, plays behind those 2 trees down across there's a small landing zone and then across the water twice.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Eric told me he hit the front of the basket on his second shot.
Yes.
Holy moly!
And that was a nice headwind.
Yeah, a little breeze.
And
How did you get what did you do?
I threw there's plug the EMAC Enforcer stash stamp coming out soon. I threw it off the tee. And it flattened and it turned off the tee because it was a pretty good headwind.
Yeah, it was breezing.
And I thought, that needs to come back. And then it said, I'm an enforcer. So it hyzered, skipped off the road, and I was probably only 3 feet off the road up to the right side.
But
and
that's a perfect attack angle.
It is great. I just mashed it flat, right side, and it went between the 2 guardian trees.
I was going to say, there's a lot of trees.
Yeah, there's 2 guardians, and it went right in between them. And, man, if it just been a little bit higher, it would have been.
I mean, that's an albatross.
Yeah.
Like we've both solo eagled that before. It's not a lot that we do because it's a tough 3, but we've gotten it. But I would bet nobody's 2'd it.
No, I would imagine there's only a handful of people that have 3'd it.
Yeah, which is super cool.
Yeah,
I think I 6th or 7th did. So
you did.
That's not bad.
That's okay.
Anyway, so good times. Hopefully you guys were able to play some disc golf last week. And I know that we got some rain on Saturday. I know that on Oklahoma got really hit hard.
So did I.
Dumped.
My basement was having water come in.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it rained. Yeah. It rained a lot here. And I think it's because it hadn't rained for a while, so it was pretty dry. And so a lot of rain was just dumped on us. So if you're in the Oklahoma area or any of the areas that got hit by the rain really hard, sorry for that. Hopefully
I was concerned about Peter Pan.
For real.
Being able to be played tonight.
It's the exact same thing I thought about.
Oh, I mean, think about
even I think it was Emporia Gazette was posting pictures of the water because 12th and Prairie had over the curb flooding.
Yeah.
And then they went to Peter Pan, and then the pond was almost overflowing as well. So I was like, oh, great. Here we go again. We're going to have to move the skins match somewhere else. But it seems like the water didn't come up.
Yeah.
I think it's because they didn't get as much rain north of us, and that's typically where the flooding occurs from.
Yeah.
So
very nice. Speaking of Oklahoma, I need to real quick have a serious talk with you guys.
Let's get
our listeners
about Oklahoma.
Well,
are we going to keep it real or what?
We're going to keep it real.
We are, or you are?
So I am.
Okay.
So actually, I'm going to have to, I guess, apologize maybe a little bit.
Okay.
So I talked about playing the Shawnee Trailhead course in Bartlesville, the brand new one,
I
right?
remember that.
And I think a few people took offense to my review of it.
Kind of like people always take
offense to what you
Reedy
say.
Creek.
I know. So I say this with a little bit of reserve, only because in no way would I have intended to give a bad review. In fact, I listened to it again because I thought, well, what did I say? It's like, what did I say? And I could see where some people may have taken it incorrectly, but someone had reached out to me and said that the reason there was no bridge is because either had rained or a storm or something had swept away the bridges, and that over 1,000 hours had been put into to put in this course and stuff like that. And I kind of told the person, I said, Hey, if I offended you, I apologize. I didn't mean to. Of course, I don't know all the story. I don't know the context behind it. I told it how I saw the day it was. So if you're in the Bartlesville area and you know this course, you know what I'm talking about. Guys, I didn't mean anything bad by it. It was just how the course was to me that day.
Right.
And we even mentioned that it's a new course. It needs to be beat in, just like any new course in the woods needs to be beat in. So anyway, so take it for what it is. I apologize. I meant no ill will toward the course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but right after the episode, he was talking to me and Eric. He was like, I mean, a lot of ill will toward that course. It was
the illest.
He didn't. No, he didn't.
The illest.
The illest of all willists.
So anyway, what else we got going on? So we talked about, so if you listen to our episodes, or if you subscribe to our podcast, you know that every now and then I like to do a giveaway. Yes, I'm giving more stuff away.
You're such a nice guy.
I know.
You're so nice.
So we had a trespass that oh gosh, he's gonna kill me.
Oh, he gone.
I am the worst at names.
Yeah, that's true.
I called him Andrew the other day. So anyway, sorry,
You
Anthony.
didn't. Who's Andrew?
I don't even know.
We don't have an Andrew here.
No. So anyway, Anthony did some dynamic. Anthony gets dynamic, and he had a trespass. So we had one to give away. And at the very, very end of last episode, I recorded a secret subscriber word giveaway. So you had to go to dynamic or discgolfanswerman.com/subscriber.
Was it Andrew? Was that the?
No, actually, when I was recording, I looked out and I saw Joel's Jeep. So I made Jeep the secret word. And we actually had 248 people, I think, enter. So we have 248 people. So at the end of this episode, remind me, guys, we got to give away this trespass to the winner.
Did you enter into that one, Eric?
No.
Man, next time.
I put Andrew.
Yeah.
Into the code and
If
it didn't
Andrew
win.
wins, it's all you,
Yeah.
buddy.
So, all right, guys, let's move on to the questions now. Oh, yeah. So, lost my train of thought.
How do you submit questions,
I have
Bobby?
no idea. No, go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your question. You can submit it in written form, or you can use the SpeakPipe link and send it in via SpeakPipe, and it's a voice message to us. Right now, we only have 2 SpeakPipes, so I'm going to be doing a lot of talking this episode. So
All right.
if you do not like my lisp, I don't care.
Get over it.
Get over it. So here we go. Pat Shrinko sends in a question to SpeakPipe.
Hey, Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, Eric, Emac McCabe, and Robert. My name still isn't on the About page of the Disc Golf Answer Man website. McCall.
Got him.
Whoa!
I'd like to bring up a grievance that I need to file with the company, and then that's that my name isn't on the About Me. So.
That's fine.
I didn't even.
Feel free to waste your time.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Here, let me get you
on the desk of my immediate superior.
Get you a trash can and have you file it.
Yeah,
It's also just Bobby and I's picture, like the little cartoon image that
No, well, let's see.
somebody drew.
No,
or did you change it?
It changed it a long time ago.
Oh, how does it feel to have Ralph on the cover photo and you're not?
No, it hurts. I mean, thanks for
At the
reminding me.
About page, it has Eric, A.K. Emac, Bobby, A.K. Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and it talks about Eric's accomplishments and then, of course, my little stuff I do.
Well, I don't have any accomplishments, but you could at least put my name there. I mean,
That was done like a long time ago.
Well.
Okay, so anyway, we will. We do have some plans to.
you said this question was from Pat.
Oh no, the About page of the website.
Well, even this,
but even that, yes,
Yeah,
yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
so let's get back to
Little
the question.
page.
Sorry, guys.
it was Pat who asked this question.
yeah, but
Thank you, Pat, for sticking up for the little guy.
sorry,
okay,
Pat, you just don't understand.
Yeah, sorry.
all right, let's get to Pat's real question.
I'm sorry I left you hanging last week, Bobby. I called in on the Anchor app, and you sent me 2 discs for winning the contest. It was a Classic Blend Warden and a Tournament Fortress. Both filled a slot in my bag that was open at the moment.
Giving more stuff away. I'm not going to have a job.
No, you're not.
Well, it's been all serious questions lately, so I'm going to throw you guys a fun question today.
All right.
Let's say Bobby, Robert, and Anthony are going to take on Emac in a single disc challenge at Peter Pan Park in the style of Champs versus Chumps. Lunch is on the losers, so it's a pretty high stakes round we're talking about here. The rules are 1 disc for each member of the trio. Emac will get 2 discs, but they must be the same mold. Trio plays best shot triplets. Emac plays Cali-style doubles. What discs are y'all using? I know Emac's going to use the truth, but are there 2 specific truths? And of the trio, what's your strategy for taking down Emac? Finally, who do you guys think will win? Thanks again, guys, and keep it real.
I don't think it's
what
fair.
was the styles again?
I'm so interested in doing that.
That's man. So the style is triples,
What's that mean?
which is doubles, but there's you three versus me.
I got you. Okay.
And I can only throw 2 discs, which already isn't
Tally
fair.
style, that's right.
Like I would need my whole bag throwing 2 shots per hole to compete, I feel, because Robert and I will go out and play rounds and there'll be times that he beats me.
Yep.
There'll be times that we're close.
Right.
And to have 2 other people to rely on.
Right.
I mean, if you think about that format, if it was me and I was playing on that team, I would have, Anthony and Bobby playing safe shots. For instance, like the Peninsula hole. Well, look, he's already
For
safe.
sure.
I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna try to park it.
Yeah.
So it's already an unfair advantage for you guys. I think it would make more sense to play a doubles round,
I was
like
just saying
me
that.
and Bobby versus Robert and Anthony. I think that would be a little closer competitive wise.
Maybe. I still think,
not maybe.
Well, it would be closer competitive wise. You're right. You're
Okay.
right. I think.
Thank you.
Sorry. Sorry. The cold is just it's
Right.
just swelling up. And, okay. I think doubles Anthony and me versus Eric and Bobby. I think y'all still have the edge, but yeah, it would be closer.
We should do that, but on every like Jones West, Jones East, Peter Pan,
Yeah.
Jones Gold.
Hammond, and then Jones Gold would be the finale.
I like it.
Honestly, for real, all it takes during that time is for Eric to just have an okay day and Anthony to just give us like good drives. Because Anthony is a good thrower. He is a really good thrower.
He's a
thrower.
solid thrower.
He is.
What happens between your
Anthony
tee shot and your putting?
Anthony has sometimes a difficult time around the green. I however, usually don't have a difficult time
Yeah.
around the green, so we'd be a nice doubles team.
We have to make
I would
that
agree
happen.
with that.
And we would record it, but each of us would have our own camera, and then we'd have
Yeah.
all 4 different perspectives. Anyway,
Yeah.
maybe that's
GoPros
something
on
we
the
do.
But anyway,
but
all that to
let's-
say the
test.
triplets thing. So you would choose EMAC Truths. Duh.
Obviously.
Yeah. Well, 2, I would probably choose a overstable one, like a brand new one, and then one that's kind of seasoned.
Like the lightsaber.
Now, would we
one.
get
Now I
only
only get
2
a-
discs? What would you putt
No,
with
only
the truth?
I get 2 discs. You guys get your
We
whole
only
bags.
get we only
It
get one
sounded
disc.
like.
We only got
You
one
do.
disc.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear
person.
that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get 2 discs, same mold. We only get 1 disc per person.
And you have to putt with that disc too.
Correct.
I kind of think I could beat you guys now. Maybe.
Maybe.
I think it'd be close.
I would probably.
One
All right.
disc?
Here's the strategy.
You'd if I'll say if I was on your team, I would probably go with a putter.
Yeah.
Like one putter,
At
one
Pan.
mid, and a driver?
No. You only get 1 disc.
So each of us have our own putter?
No, each of you have 1 disc.
Oh, so we have 1 disc between the 3 of us?
No.
Each
One
of
disc
you
per
has
person.
1 disc.
So each of us have a putter. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No.
Okay. Hold on.
Me personally, if it was me playing that on that threesome, I would have a putter.
That's exactly.
You would probably have a driver, which
That's-
would make the most
okay.
sense, and you would maybe have a mid, or you would have the driver.
That's what I
you
was
would have
thinking,
the mid.
okay.
I was gonna say I would put the driver in Anthony's hands
Mhm.
so that he could reach 1, 2, 3 shots like that. Give me a Warden because I
Yep.
throw that on
Yep.
half the holes out there anyway.
Yep, that's why you
and
suck.
Then, and then I put true,
Huh?
fair,
Just kidding.
And then-
Absolutely joking.
and then probably give Bobby either maybe a driver or a suspect. He's
I
really
would give
good
him
with
a
a suspect.
fairway driver.
Yeah.
Something that he can throw neutrally
Yeah.
on all the
All right.
holes.
Nice criminal or something.
Cool.
See, and yeah, I would get waxed.
Yeah.
I think I would get waxed. I'm willing to try
But
it.
I'm interested in throwing down.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right. So next question comes from.
Thanks for the fun question.
Yeah. Thanks, Pat.
Yeah, Pat. Thanks for sticking up.
Never
for the
do it
little guy.
again.
Yeah, no, never again.
Next one's from Definitely Not Jake from Definitely Not St. Louis.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
What's up, Eric Taller and Pictures McCabe? Robert, my last nickname for you was doomed from the start because there's no way to spell McCall and Bobby. Drool Caddy Slick Breeze.
Drool
St.
Caddy
Louis.
Slick.
So bullet points, the Thief is an awesome disc. First tournament with it in the bag was Legistone, and it was fantastic. Everyone go buy a Thief.
Nice.
Next. Oh, and an EMAC Truth.
Yeah, boy.
Next up, it's super fun being recognized by total strangers as Jake from St. Louis. Super fun, but super weird, but mostly super fun. And the last thing was a huge shout out for Eric Oakley. His round 2 composure that he showed during what was not his best round. It was really inspiring and really emotionally moving. Just because there's this one kid that was following him that you could just he was like totally eager to go into the water to get Eric's disc, was just totally idolizing Eric. And the way that Eric composed himself in the face of that adversity was really, really indescribably cool.
Awesome.
So he just deserves an incredible shout out for that. And my last and only actual question is, who is the best dancer of the three of you?
Ooh.
Go.
Well, yes. If you guys haven't watched or heard of Eric Oakley, he is
I thought he was going a different route there.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you were answering the
About
dance
dancing.
question.
Yeah.
No,
If you guys haven't seen me cut a rug.
No, just Eric Oakley. Eric Oakley's just a good guy, all about positivity. He's human, of course, and he has his days where he gets pretty frustrated, but I'm glad to hear that he composed himself really well in the course.
Yeah, that's what DD Family's all about.
That's what being a professional is all about. So now, to the dance question.
On to the serious answers.
Yes. Question about dancing.
It would be me.
I was going to say it has to be Bobby. First off, I would be third of three because I don't dance. Like, I do not enjoy dancing.
You're the kind of guy that goes to a club and just kind of taps his toe, aren't you?
No,
I'm the guy that doesn't even go to the club.
Thank you. I'm the kind
No,
of guy
he does
who...
because he's the DD at the club whenever, you know.
Oh,
that is true.
So he does go. He just sits there at the table.
I have been a multiple time
Grumposaurus Rex over here.
award-winning designated driver. That's my job. No, I never enjoyed dancing. Like, we didn't really do dances growing up.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, I was dating a girl who was on the drill team, and so we went to prom together, and that was the first dance I'd ever been to. And like I said, not interested.
So let me ask you this before you go on.
Yeah.
Would it be your absolute nightmare if we made you get on stage and dance at the GBO?
100% nightmare. Like, I will. I'll get on stage. I'll get on stage and talk.
Mental note.
I was a worship leader before this. I'll get on stage and sing and play guitar. Whatever. That's cool. Dancing, forget it. Not interested.
Well, I'm gonna stand up and scream, dance.
Yeah, and then I'll just keep talking because I have the microphone.
And then I will get the crowd to start chanting, dance, dance.
Anyway,
dance.
so I went.
We'll play Raining Men.
Oh no!
Men.
So I went with this girl to prom, and she was like, "I'm sorry, this is just how I think all girls talk in my brain." She was like, "It's fun. Everyone just dances, and it's like we're being silly, and it's really fun." And then we get there, and like all of her and her drill team friends, like, they can dance for real. They're on the drill team. And so they all look super cool and stuff. And I was like, this is dumb. And since then, I've danced maybe like once or twice. Once was at my wedding, and it was
slow dance doesn't count.
Yeah,
slow
true.
dance does not count as dancing because all you got to do is kind of move your feet.
Yep,
you got to get down.
So all that to say, I do throw the occasional twerk in there just at my house, just for Shay. But I mean, that's a different story.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
you're welcome.
Podcast.
You're welcome. But it's always as a joke, just so we're on the same page. Nobody would look at that and be like, "Ooh," they'd be like, "Ew."
Maybe Shay does.
Maybe.
So, what is your dance?
I don't dance a lot either. I mean, I'm not scared of dancing like Robert is.
I'm mortified.
I have a feeling with your background, you've done more dancing than
my background.
Well, yeah. I mean, your background as far as like employment.
Oh, yes.
I'm not going to let the viewers know. I'll let them just kind of wonder what's going on there. But I think you have more experience in it.
Yeah, I mean, but I've always loved music and I've always loved to dance, and I sound like dance is my.
It's like you're about to be on.
I want to dance.
Not Dancing with the Stars. What's the other one?
It's the one of
Dancing with the Stars.
No. It's
America's Got Talent.
No. So You Think You Can Dance?
Yeah.
They're like,
this
has been my dream for forever. That's Bobby.
No, it's just I love going to clubs and dance, and back in my day when I was slim, trim, and buff Marine Corps, I mean, I would dance and
like
girls
breaking?
would dance with me, and people would wait to dance with me. I loved.
Did you have a line of people?
Not
to
a
dance
line, but I mean, I would.
Was it like
I would dance.
Say.
Was it?
I would dance.
Let me ask you this: did you ever go to house parties and like the music was going, everyone's getting down dancing, and it was like Kid and Play style, where everybody got around you and started clapping, and you and your boys,
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then of course Eric alluded to my employment for a while. I was in the Marine Corps. I was a bouncer at a dance club, and that was very.
Who occasionally got on stage.
Because on Saturdays, did I haven't told you this?
I don't think so.
Okay, so on Saturdays, to get more people to come in on Saturdays, 2 hours before they opened the regular club, I think it was 2 hours, they would open a all male review.
Okay.
And only women could come in.
Right.
Because you get women to come in.
Yeah.
Who comes for the women?
Dudes.
So you have a bunch of women already in the club, already drinking and having a good time, and they're watching a male. And if you don't know what a male review, it's basically male strippers. And but they only stripped down to their Speedos, and but they were very creative with their Speedos. Anyway,
this is my favorite group of questions we've ever had. By the way, we've had 2 speak pipe questions,
disc golf.
and this is 100% off the rails. I love this.
So during the male review, though, there was one particular time that the van that was on its way broke down, and so they were like, "We're just not going to make it, guys." And so we're like, "We've got a room full of probably 60, 80 women just ready for these whatever." So they said, "Well, no, I'm sorry." So when it's regular, the male review, the waiters, the bouncers were asked to volunteer as waiters. So we would be the waiters that would take the drinks to the women, and of course, we got to keep the tips while we got paid,
Right, which is great.
So I would do that every now and then. And you think men can be vulgar?
Yeah.
Oh,
Women can be pretty vulgar.
Women can get away with it, though.
Yes.
That's the difference.
And I tell you, sometimes when they gave me tips, they would put it in certain places that. Anyway,
like your back pocket,
like down my pants.
Obviously, I know what you're talking about. I didn't need you to elaborate on it.
I was going to say your chest pocket. I don't know.
No.
Weird. Okay.
Anyway, there was one night
Pocket
that
protector.
they had to wear the male review couldn't show up. So the manager was like, "All right, guys, start taking off your shirts and dance on stage." And so we literally, there were a few, we would do like one guy would go up and we would dance and it was an amazing, okay, this was back in the day when I partied down. It was an awesome night because the women went crazy and we were on the dance floor, no shirts, just
Dude, that is hilarious.
jeans and dancing and having a good time.
That's my favorite story I've ever heard.
Yeah, that was awesome. Awesome event.
Oh, that's-
anyway,
that's
back
fantastic.
to disc golf. Was that all his question about
That
dance?
was, no, yeah, that was
so
the whole
I would
question.
win the dance, whether it was
yeah.
a regular dance and apparently whether it was a male review dance. So
Yeah.
I've got it down pat. So
Correct.
I can't wait to see what people start saying on Facebook now.
Yeah,
about
that's
this.
perfect.
So we got to go to the regular questions because we are out of speak pipe questions. And actually, what I'm going to do, if you have a couple minutes for me, just hold on. We're actually going to go audio live on the Facebook group.
I listened to you last night.
I know.
You
Did it sound good?
It sounded like a phone call.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's so. What is the point in doing that?
So-
I know. Video seems to be, what people want. I
So
guess.
here's the thing: is that what we're talking about is disc golf. Disc golf.
Disc golf Facebook.
Disc golf. Facebook has the big thing for a while was live video
Mhm.
and going live. So that's it's still going to be a big thing going live, and we're going to do even more stuff with live video and dynamic disc. But audio is kind of making a comeback. Now, I don't want to say comeback, but because podcasts have been around for a while,
Yeah.
but podcasts are slowly becoming even more popular. You got the Anchor app and stuff like that.
You got the Disc Golf Answer Man podcast, which
Podcast.
is the most popular podcast in the world.
Number one disc golf
Did
podcast.
you know that?
Mhm.
I was just going to say number one podcast.
Oh, in the world. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All podcasts
Yeah.
ever created.
I didn't know we'd finally surpassed like all those NPR.
Joe
ones.
Rogan,
Yeah,
Adam
Rogan,
Carolla,
we-
come on. Anyway, so Facebook now, when you go live, it has a little button where you can either do live video or live audio.
Mhm.
The big thing about audio is that's kind of competes with video is that audio is what's considered passive attention.
Right.
And that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to do a podcast at the very beginning. It was because passive. In other words, for video, you have to stop what you're
Stop
doing
what you're doing.
Yeah.
and pay attention.
Yeah.
For audio, it can be going on in the background while you're
That's
working
true.
out, while you're
That's
putting,
true.
whatever. So that's why audio is kind of still a big thing, and some people think it's going to be even bigger.
Yeah.
So
Can
we're
see
going to
that.
have some fun with it while
We're
we're
gonna do it right
recording.
now?
We're going to go live audio on the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook group. We're going to say
Ooh.
recording episode. And if you're listening to the podcast, I appreciate your patience so much. Recording episode
because this
181.
episode has been a doozy.
I know, yeah. So I don't know how.
trip.
All right, so we're going to go live and we'll see how people respond. And we might even get some questions from the live. Here we go. All right, so we are live on the Facebook group and Disc Golf Answer Man. If you're listening on the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook group live, we are actually recording an episode of Disc Golf Answer Man. We're going to see if any questions come in while we're answering the questions from the show. Let's get to the questions so our podcast listeners aren't getting more mad at us for doing. Oh, I see someone's tuned in.
I was going
to. I know. All right. So this first one's from Aaron. Per your wonderful recommendations, I played in my first tournament a couple weekends ago and took first in the rec division. The EMAC Truth and Convict are my go-to discs off the tee and have made a huge difference in my game because I trust them so much.
Awesome.
Do you recommend moving up after winning in rec? This was an unsanctioned tournament, but it was similar to a small C tier. So should someone move up as soon as they win rec? Should they move up to the next division?
Yes. Depending on what you want out of your disc golf career, so to speak.
Yeah.
I don't think you necessarily have to win a tournament to move up. And if you're finishing toward the top at every event you play, that's kind of when you know it's time to take your game to the next level. If that's, the trail you want to go down. Kevin Schaefer comes to mind.
Yeah.
Actually, he's right at that point. He's not a rec player. He's an advanced player, but he's an upper advanced player. And
he's rated 948, I think, right now. But he's been around 950 for a little while.
And it seems like every single tournament he plays, he's in the top 5, maybe even the top 2.
Mm-hmm.
He just played the MAC this past weekend and finished second place. And I kind of asked him when he's planning on moving up, and he's not ready. He's kind of, I don't know if I don't want to say scared because I don't want to say that about the guy, but sure. he's there's something that doesn't want him to move up to that next level.
Yeah, I think it's a little tentative. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that comes from, when you first move up to that next division, you're not going to be in the top. You're not going to be competing for the win. I mean, and if you are, then it shows that you should have moved up a long time ago.
For sure.
But if you've won a rec event, then yeah, I would say, dabble in the intermediate division and see what the competition is like out there. And don't expect to jump into it and win right away, but expect to get into it and have, the better players you're playing against, the better you're going to get faster, if that makes sense. And and that's what I love about having like Robert in town and going out and playing these dollar matches that we do all the time. It really helps my game. It really helps his game. And yeah, you'll see definite improvement in your moving up.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's the only reason we hired you, Robert.
Yeah,
so that I could push Eric along.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best. Yeah. I think there's also in tournaments, I think there's not really a limit to that, but if you've won in rec, then I think intermediate is a good field for you to play in. I wouldn't say if you've won in rec, all right, hop into open because you're going to compete.
Yeah.
Like you can learn from playing with Eric, but if you're just now winning rec tournaments, you're not going to be able to do the things that he's doing. And so moving up incrementally, I think is really, really good. And I liked having the challenge. I went straight into advanced when I started playing tournaments, just because I wanted to be challenged. And I played really poorly in my first one, and then I got a couple of good advanced finishes after that, and then won an advanced tournament. And I was at the point where I was rated in like the 950s or 960s, something like that. And I got tired of making the same mistakes that I always make and then still finishing toward the top. Like I wanted to see what it was like for people who didn't make a lot of mistakes. What decisions do they make?
Mm-hmm.
How do they attack the course? So I just wanted to learn. So I moved up pretty quickly. And I would advocate that for almost anybody. Because if you win $30 in rec for winning, great. But if you win $15 in intermediate for a low cash or something like that, for me, it's worth that $15 in plastic to get the better experience. That's what I think.
Cool. He also said he wanted to say how much he enjoys Team Wellpants, Eric and Tina. They are putting out some amazing content, and I follow their adventures, and their podcasts and vlogs are great. That's cool. Yeah, so Wellpants on Facebook. They like to do some vlog style stuff to kind of show what it's like out on the road, and they also like to do some clinic-y type stuff where they give their two perspectives, they call it, where they kind of give some advice on disc golf stuff. So really cool stuff. So you guys that are listening on the Facebook group, looks like maybe this isn't quite the best thing because I don't want to be passing the phone around, and it sounds like you can barely hear Robert because he's too far away. So We might try something different here in a little bit with the live. I don't want it to distract from the regular episode. So thanks, guys, for taking part in this test. And we're going to say goodbye on the Facebook group.
Later.
All right, so back to the regular stuff, guys. Thank you so much for the patience on that. Okay, this is really interrupting the regular show, so we're going to stop doing this. Even though I saw Paige jumped on to listen.
Dang it.
Next question comes from Connor. Hey, guys, I was just wondering what each of your putting routines are and how you practice. I've been making most of my putts inside the circle. I was wondering if you have any tips for making longer putts outside the circle. Thanks for the great show. P.S. I spin putt.
Yes, that's the best way to do it.
Eric spin putts too.
It depends on how far outside the circle you're talking. I honestly, even when right now my practice routine is show up to the course 2 minutes after I said I'd be there, putt 3 times, and then go play. But back when I used to practice a lot, I honestly wouldn't practice any putts outside 40 feet. It's just, for me, if I make every putt inside 40 feet, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And I want to be confident inside my 40-foot ring. Anything outside of that, sure, every now and then I'll throw some up here, and but I won't physically go out and practice 80-foot putts because I think they're bonuses. For me, an 80-footer, 60-footer even, sure, you can give it a little bit of a run, but I mean, to me, being more consistent inside your comfort ring, which should be around 20 to 40 feet, inside that comfort ring is something that you really need to focus on. And as soon as you start nailing that down, that's when you can kind of start going out your comfort zone.
Yeah. I've done a lot of different things for putting practice before. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite ones is I'll just get a stack of putters. For me, that's Wardens. And I'll put 2 Wardens at 10 feet, 2 Wardens at 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, something like that. And then I'll go to the first set at 10 feet, and I'll just putt both of those. And if I make both, I'll move back to the 15-footers. Make both of those, move back. Now, if I only make one, say at like the 25-footers, I miss one, I will go pick those up and then putt 25-footers again. If I miss both 25-footers, I move back to 20 feet. Just so that I'm not reinforcing bad habits. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to feel the difference between a 20 and 25-footer, 20 and 30-footer. And so I don't want to lose that by missing a couple of putts and then thinking I really need to force it on the 30-footer. And so I like that because it rewards you for making your putts. And, you can be out there for 10 minutes or you can be out there for 40. And then for longer putts, I'm like you, Eric. I don't practice much outside 40 or 45. Although I've been working on my wrist a little bit so that I don't have to step putt or jump putt, so that I can give it the same sort of run I normally would, but still be kind of close to the basket if I miss. Mm-hmm. The only time I'll get much outside of that is if I'm working on controlling my angle at the end of the flight of the disc. Because there's a difference between running a 60-footer that's chain high and kind of flat and nose up that just falls behind it, and one that's chain high and coming down on what would almost be a spike hyzer angle. Because a lot of times, if you putt with hyzer, that has the potential to roll away or put you in a bad spot. So being able to land your putter flat from distance, I think is pretty important. So that's mostly what I'll practice when I do those, just to make sure my wrist is holding the proper angle at those distances.
Very cool. Next one is from Recording Noob. Hey guys, just recently tuned into your podcast, and I got to say, I enjoy listening to all of the tips and advice you guys give. But this time I've got a question for Bobby, a.k.a. Cool. Danny Slick Bruce. I'm trying to get into recording disc golf and was wondering, do you use a DSLR or camcorders when recording? What would you recommend for a beginner to use? I've only had a few recordings through iPhones of friends disking, but would like to hear your input. Thanks, guys. I have both. I have a DSLR and we also have a camcorder. We also have a little point and shoot. Really depends on the situation. I would say if you're going to do tournament coverage, that I would not recommend a DSLR. I know that Joe Mez used to use DSLR, and I don't know for certain, but I could have swore I had a conversation one time where he said he started to feel that it was limiting to what they could do as far as zooming in and stuff like that, to capture the disc's flight and stuff like that. So a DSLR can make it difficult. It's not impossible because I know Martin McGee from Prodigy Discs YouTube channel. He uses I believe a Panasonic, Olympic. I think it's a Panasonic GH4, I think, but I know it's a DSLR, and he does, good coverage. But I know that sometimes when you watch his versus somebody else's, you can tell that he has a limitation in how far he can zoom in and how well he can do it and how smooth he can do it. Not that he does a bad job. Don't know anybody. Don't go run into Marty telling what I said. I said he does a bad job. He does a really good job, but I just think for me, in my style, there's that limitation. So I would definitely grab a camcorder. You can get one for $200-$300 that does HD now, and it's going to be decent quality to get yourself started. Next one comes from Dylan. Hey there, DeGam. My question for you is, if you could replace flight numbers, what kind of system would you use? Would you use something like Discmania and Prodigy, or do you have something completely new to the game? Thanks for everything you guys do and keep it real.
I don't know what they use.
I thought
they used flight numbers. No? No, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, so PD2, so Power Driver 2, Power Driver 3, and stuff like that.
They don't have flight numbers, though?
No, they don't. Discmania does.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I wouldn't do that because to me, and I'm not saying... that's what's tough. It's hard to say something if you disagree with.
Because then everybody thinks we're bashing on them.
Yeah, which I'm not bashing on them at all. But to me, it gives... there's a ceiling when you name your discs that way. In the future, how are you going to come out with a disc that's more overstable or more, which I guess they did with the X line and all that. But I don't know. To me, it's worked for them. That's what I'll say. But it's not something I would do that I would want to do, I think. Flight numbers...
I would replace it with just throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just try it out, man.
Yeah.
We could put that on all the discs.
Just try it.
Just throw it.
I mean...
just do it, man.
Yeah.
Try it out, bro.
I honestly like how Discraft does it. They have one number and it's a positive or a negative. And if it's a positive 3, it's going to be overstable. If it's a negative 3, it's going to be understable. I mean, to me, that just makes more sense that's more accurate to me than 4 numbers with fade. And, it's just, yeah.
Sure. But then you run into the same problem that you run into with the other flight numbers. And that's that a 0.5, like the Buzz is a 0.5. Mm-hmm. The Buzz flies really straight to slightly understable for you. Mm-hmm. Red fly mostly pretty straight for me and relatively overstable for Bobby. Mm-hmm. It's just different for each person.
But to me, I think that is more accurate than 4 numbers too.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not arguing that. I think you run into the same issue with
absolutely.
Both for sure.
No matter what,
which is why
a flawed system.
We create videos called "Is This Disc Right for You?" where you literally watch Eric McCabe, a pro, and myself, a casual player. We throw the discs. You kind of see who do I lean more toward, more Bobby's skill level or Eric's skill level, and you kind of figure out from there. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to Jeremy, and we still have 3 new discs we haven't done yet, right? Criminal, Slammer.
Yeah, I haven't done the Slammer.
And did we do the Sheriff? Yeah, we did the Sheriff.
Junior EMAC. We haven't done that
yet.
We
haven't do the Junior disc. So be looking forward. I was meant to talk to you, Eric. We're going to schedule some time here in the next couple of weeks to get those.
How about tonight?
During the
I got time about 5:29.
Yeah,
we can record it.
Yeah. So, all right. Next question. Jared asks, "Hey guys, really enjoy the show. Yesterday, I set my buddy up with a DD starter pack, and an hour later, I watch him drain an ace with his prime truth.
Boom! Nice.
It was an awesome #grow the sport moment if there ever was one. Anyway, I think he will progress pretty quickly and is already talking about expanding his dynamic discs line.
Sweet.
I don't throw dynamic discs myself. Boo. Though I might be on the market for a truth now. Yeah, I would think so. So
that's kind of interesting that he doesn't throw anything dynamic, but he gave his friend a dynamic disc starter pack and the dude aced.
And we thank you for that, Jared.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So he says, I want to ask, once he gets a solid handle on his witness, truth, and judge, what DD disc would you guys recommend he go with next? So let's say he starts progressing. What should he do with the truth?
Graduate to an EMAC truth.
Boom. I would even say
I would even do that now. Honestly.
I would even say grab an EMAC truth and realize that the EMAC truth won't necessarily replace your truth.
Yep.
It'll just give you a different shot.
Be a nice compliment.
Yeah.
Very nice compliment.
So the witness, let's say he's using it for his distance driver, but he starts getting a little bit better. What should he club up to?
I would do an escape for sure.
Yeah.
I would say escape Renegade.
Yeah.
One of those two.
Yeah. Escape is a little step up in speed and a little step up in stability. And Renegade is a similar stability, just a little step up in speed from the Escape.
Yeah. Which don't worry about all that. Just
just throw it. But
yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
When we were playing on Sunday,
either one of those would be great.
For sure.
When we were playing on Sunday, I had actually purchased 2 new Bio Fusion Sheriffs and 2 new Fusion Sheriffs because I had exhausted all my Renegades by throwing them in water. But
exhausted them.
So anyway, my point is I threw that Renegade and man, just fresh out the box, Renegades are so nice for me.
Oh, you said Fusion Sheriffs and Bio Sheriffs. You meant Renegades.
I'm sorry, Fusion Renegades.
Yeah. You did throw some good ones with the Renegade. That's right.
They were really nice.
Yeah.
So, so then the judge, if he starts getting better, what should he do? Should he upgrade the judge or nah?
Putters are just feel.
Yeah.
If you like the judge bead,
the judge, do it.
Roll with it. If you don't like a bead, Warden is good. If you like somewhere in between, Marshal is good. If you need something a little shallower, Deputy is good. Swan is good. There's a lot of good putter options. It's just whatever feels right to you.
But you don't really grow out of a putter.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a lightweight putter.
Yeah. Or like the gavel.
Right. You could grow out of it.
Jason asks, I'm having difficulty deciding whether or between the Warden and the judge. Oh, nice segue. Between the Warden and the judge's throwing putters. I picked up 6 of each, and I like throwing them both for different reasons. The Warden for flat out throws and hand hyzers, the judge for shaped shots, and the bead minimized rollaways on hyzers. The Warden seems to roll more. How do you decide between 2 discs that are similar and only have subtle differences? That's a good question, actually.
Do you think the bead minimizes rollaway very much?
I don't know.
I've never noticed that with Wardens, but that's just me.
I don't know. That's a good question. It might. I don't know if it would or not, but
so how do you decide if you have if a new disc comes out and you're like, well, I mean, it does a little different than my insert name of disc, but not enough. How do you decide whether it's going to kick a disc out or what?
That's tough. That's a tough call especially this point in the game. If it's a disc that makes the bag and kicks another one out, it's a pretty good disc.
It's going to have to be pretty solid.
And the Criminal did that.
Yep. With
the Felon. Granted, I still have a Felon in the bag because it's slightly a little bit straighter than the Criminal is, but it's a tough call. It's got to be a disc that is really meant for me or a disc that I'm missing in my lineup. But right now, I'm pretty stoked on my lineup.
Yeah,
on my whole bag actually. So
yeah, for me when I was deciding between judges and Wardens, because I putted judges and threw judges before Wardens came out, because that was really the only. Guess that was the only putter we had for a little while.
For not very long.
Not super long, but for a little bit. When the Warden came out, I like the feel of it better. I think the flights are very similar, with the judge having maybe just a little bit more finish.
It does have more finish, I will say.
But I mean, the high speed stability is really similar to me. Throw them about the same. They'll go straight. Judge will finish a little bit more. I just like the straighter flight, so that's why I went with the Warden.
I think it's personal preference. If you don't mind the bead, if the bead doesn't affect you in any way, then the judge is great. If you are a player that hates the bead, then the Warden is great for you.
Yeah, you're not going to really, really miss out on a shot with one or the other, I don't think.
I would say the judge is going to have a little bit more finish, though, like you said.
Yeah.
So if you want it to finish left at the end, if you're a right-handed player, then I would go with the judge.
Yep.
But if you want a more straight shot, or for me, if it'll hold that right line to the Warden.
Yeah.
I can get it to throw a nice Anheuser easier than I can the judge.
Yep.
So,
all right, next one comes from Connor. Hey guys, I was just wondering what each of your putting routines are and how you practice. I've been making most of my putts inside the circle. I was wondering if you have any tips for making longer putts outside the circle.
You know that we've had that one, right?
All righty then. We will move on.
You just got on the autopilot. Just I'm reading some questions.
Was that the same one? Or I feel like that was differently worded.
It may have been differently worded, but it was almost identical.
It was a similar question, so I would keep it in there, but just tell them to rewind about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because we talked about it this episode.
Okay, so the next one is from Oskari. Oskari. Oskari.
Oscar.
Oskari.
Oscar-y.
You scary.
You scary. What grip? Shimlicker?
Shinlicker?
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
What grip you guys use when I'm literally reading literally.
Yeah.
you guys use when throwing putters. I have problem when throwing putters that it comes out all wrong and goes right instantly and rolls away. For mids and drivers, I don't have this problem and can throw my mids around 300 feet.
I don't think your grip is the problem. I think it's that you're probably trying to overpower the putter. Mm-hmm. The grip that I use on a putter is it's a fan-ish grip, but I stack kind of my ring finger and pinky together.
It's a stacked grip.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like they're not all right on top of one another.
It's not a power grip; it's a stacked grip, which is like
kind of
a modified power fan.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid.
That's what I throw.
And that's the important thing when throwing putters is to throw them smoothly, and also to match the angle of your reach back to the angle of your release to the angle of your follow through. That's how you get smooth flights and you don't get a lot of wobble. It sounds like yours are wobbling over immediately to the right, and that's because of the off-axis torque. So keeping it on the same axis, the same angle all the way through is really important.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Ronnie Mack. I release everything on a hyzer. Should I work with it and adapt with an understable disc selection, or is it a matter of grip or standing up straighter when I release? I love the trespass, but have a hard time getting the negative 0.5 turn out of it. Thank you. Love your show.
I release everything with hyzer as well. And the reason I do it is I feel like I get more control out of the disc, more consistent releases, as opposed to an anhyzer release where you're making the disc do the work, kind of. You're trying to get it to turn over. But no, I don't think you need to adjust your release points or your grip points or anything like that. It just, the trespass will now become a different flyer for you. Like we say every episode, the numbers. Don't worry about that 0.5 or whatever it is.
Right.
Just because it says that doesn't mean that's exactly what the disc is supposed to do. For Bobby, if Bobby and I went to a hole, I mean, we've talked about this numerous times. Right. Like you throw a trespass for different reasons than I throw a trespass. I throw a trespass for pure distance. You throw a trespass if there's a moderate headwind,
right,
and get it to fight through the wind. So it's all relative as far as that goes. Maybe you would throw an escape or maybe a renegade on the hyzer release to get a little bit more distance, to get that flight out of it that you're looking for, as opposed to just looking at the numbers and thinking that this is how the disc is supposed to fly, so this is how it's going to fly.
Right. There's something to be said for a consistent release on the same angle every time.
Absolutely.
Because then it's easier for you to replace discs at that point. If you lose your trespass, you get a new trespass, and you know what your release is going to do.
There's also less room for error.
True. Now, there's something to be said for controlling all of your angles and having lots of different angle options. But if this one feels comfortable to you and it's your most consistent one, stick with it and make the disc work for you.
Absolutely. Next question comes from the Pope.
Oh, nice.
Himself?
It says Pope.
Wow,
Oh,
okay.
exclamation mark. So Pope. Hey guys, I've been playing for 7 years and have come to the realization that even though I can bomb discs 500 feet or more, that my form is awful. When I reach back, I reach low to the ground by my knees, and then when I pull through, I release chest height, but also on an ante line. This happens on all shots, short and long, and I feel I need to scrap my form and start over. But with my muscle memory, I found it nearly impossible. So what's your thoughts on how to start over? Thanks for all you guys do. Is this Eric Oakley? I'm just kidding, Eric. I love you. I know you listen to the show.
Eric has more angles than that, okay?
I know. No, he just has a very unorthodox form that I know some people have thought he needs to change it. So
talk about rebuilding your form. I know you haven't really had to do that, but I'm sure you've seen people do that.
I've kind of done it.
Okay.
But I did it when I watched myself.
Yeah.
On video and saw what I was doing wrong, not doing the next step, and yeah, I absolutely have. When I was, first learning how to get better is when I kind of rebuilt everything and worked on everything. I don't mean to question you, Pope, but can you throw 550?
He said 500.
Well, okay,
but
500.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize how far 500 feet actually is. And I'm not questioning that you can't, but if you can throw 500 feet with an unorthodox form, think about what you can do with the proper mechanics. If you can actually throw 500 feet the wrong way, you should be able to throw 550, 600 the right way.
With better control.
With better
too.
control.
Yeah.
The best way to do it is film yourself and kind of get an idea of maybe you're dropping your shoulder, your arms not coming quite through, or whatever the case may be. You can't really fix it until you see it, until you see what's going on. That's step one. Do I think it's beneficial? Absolutely. Having the proper mechanics, good form, it just helps with consistency and just an all-around good, solid game.
Yeah, and longevity in the sport,
Absolutely, yeah. If you're throwing, you're tweaking your back a little bit more, you're going to get injured. You're going to be more prone to injury, which is something you do not want. Trust me, I know from experience, and Robert does as well. But going kind of back to the distance, don't focus so much on how far you can throw. People love to be able to say that, yeah, I can throw 500, or, to me, if you can throw a 400-foot accurate drive, you can compete at almost any level.
Right.
A consistent drive. So that's what I stress for people to work on. Don't worry about being able to throw as far as Simon and Eagle and Drew Gibson and all these guys that can just mash drives. Don't worry about that. Right. Worry about having a consistent shot and a consistent putt. That's where the game will elevate you to the next level.
Yeah, I agree.
Why do you think so many people are infatuated with getting more distance?
Because it's so
fun.
Cool to see a disc fly so far.
Yeah. But I mean, that rarely does that win tournaments,
Now, to be fair, the people that are winning can throw far.
A lot of times.
I mean,
yeah.
Ricky can
Not
throw
always.
far. Paul can throw far. Well, but
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
How far does Anton throw?
But
probably 450
Tops.
on a max.
On a flex line.
I'm just saying that isn't people. I think people see that and go, man, he can throw far, but they don't realize that those people have a lot more in their arsenal as far as playing the game than
for
just getting distance.
For sure. If you are going to switch your form, video is, I think, the very first thing to do, obviously.
Step one.
Yeah. And then after that, I would start with your arm swing. Stand still and see if you can't level out your arm a little bit more. Because I think, pardon me, the less of the reach down and then Anheuser release, because that sounds like a lot of shoulder roll and a lot of torque that you don't really need. You can be a lot cleaner if it's almost like you're pulling across a tabletop. You may pull a little lower and finish a little higher, but for the most part, you want to be pretty flat.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and I'll go back to the 500 feet. That's a long way.
It's so far.
And if your form is unorthodox, then if you are throwing 500, you have chances of it going 500 feet the wrong way.
Long way, wrong way.
Which is never a good thing.
Yeah.
Never a good thing. Nah. So I would take a step back from trying to throw as far as you can and as hard as you can. I would concentrate more on consistency, consistent distance shots. I mean, if you're throwing 500, you should be able to throw a mid, 350, 400, right? Least. So I would concentrate more on that side of the game, and then maybe further down the road work on distance.
For sure, I would work to get to. For me, this is how I worked up. Is I got to where I could throw my putter flat, or maybe a very slight hyzer, but flat, and have it land flat.
Yeah,
straight flight the entire way. Because once you can do that, you can control basically any angle you want to. That's going to indicate that your form is good enough to move up to faster stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, so this is the last question for this episode. We're hitting up on the hour mark, guys. But this is from Pope again, part dos.
Pope.
He says, hey, guys, currently at work and forgot to ask my other question. Ha, ha. My girlfriend has been coming to all of my tournaments and events for the last few months, and she has gained an interest in the sport and wants to play. So I got her a diamond. Nice. And a Swan 1 Reborn to youth. She is a natural great putter, but she can't seem to get any power behind her drives, resulting in short distance shots and frustration on her end. What are some tips for me to help her get that power you guys rock?
My wife will go and play with me, disc golf with me every once in a while. And she doesn't really have any interest in competing, but not in tournaments or anything, but she is a natural competitor. So she doesn't want to do something if she's not good at it. So every time we go out, she tries to get a little bit better. And I think the thing that a lot of people don't do well at when they start out is they don't accelerate well.
Mm-hmm.
Their reach back is usually kind of short, or even if it's long, they just come through at what seems like a slower speed. And it's less about getting through really quickly as it is making sure your timing is right with your reach back to your release, but also starting slow and finishing fast. Because it feels like if you start slow, oh, I'm not going to throw it that far. But getting that whip through, getting your arm through like a whip is what's going to increase your distance. And having it come out on a flatter plane is going to help too.
Yep.
So when Shay and I talk, that's my wife. We always talk about her pulling it like she's pulling a disc across a tabletop, just trying to be as flat as possible right across her midsection so that it's not coming out on hyzer and then just dumping.
The reference I like to use is you're a waiter or a waitress with a tray of drinks and you don't want to spill it.
Don't spill the drinks.
So that's another way you can kind of word it, I suppose.
Full circle. Bobby didn't spill the drinks when he was working at the club either.
Full circle.
What?
And he just sent a message. Maybe he's applying for that job.
That's right.
Where?
I want to get back to my true passion.
Oh no, that was
maybe you were
telling. I was actually texting my wife, reminding her that today is the big day with Ricky Wysocki.
Nice.
The signing starts at 1, so I was going to eat lunch here, and then so that I can be prepared for the.
I thought you were texting her to let her know
you're going back to the all mail review.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Every Tuesday night, so make sure you're there.
Yeah. Make sure you're there.
No, anyway, so all right, so that was the last question. Thank you guys for answering the questions. Thank you guys for submitting the questions. We're actually going to take a few minutes, maybe about 10, 15 minutes. We're going to record some questions for the Anchor app because I really want you guys to get on there because I love the interaction that we have with our listeners on the Anchor app.
Before we go any further, I think Robert has a tip.
I forgot.
Just a quick tip for today.
Totally
it's okay.
My bad. No, I'm so sorry, Robert McCall. You are right. Robert.
It's okay.
What is your tip of the week?
It's okay. So this is just a quick tip. And
thanks, Robert. So we're going to...
and thanks for your advice. On to the next.
I'm teasing you.
Danny Lindahl put out a video about forehands recently, and it reminded me of a couple of things that I've known to be true, but don't think about much when I'm throwing forehands.
And it helped me.
Yes. And
not what you said. We're
right.
going to say what Danny said.
Yes, that's true because he's smart. He's smart. I'm very average. But forehand is a lot of times a hit or miss shot for me. I'm either hitting him perfectly or I'm just really awful with him. I don't throw a lot of mediocre forehands. And so the two things that I think that he addressed that are really important is when you're holding the disc and your two fingers are underneath the flight plate, a lot of times people hold those straight up to the sky. And that motion makes you feel like you want to roll your wrist over because you don't want to finish with your palm to the sky. Instead of those fingers being pressed against the flight plate, if you kind of turn those toward the rim so that they're a little bit sideways, that helps you to put your arm in the more correct position to throw a forehand and not feel like you have to roll your wrist over in order to do it. And then the other one that helps me a lot is I grip the disc, I think a little bit tighter, if not a considerable amount tighter on a forehand than I do on a backhand. And that helps to keep wobble out of it. It helps me to remember I'm not trying to throw it as hard as I can, but I want to make sure that I follow through. So turn those fingers toward the rim a little bit and make sure that you grip the disc just a little bit tighter on a forehand. Just a couple of forehand tips from a guy who has a mediocre forehand to a guy who's actually thrown some really good forehands lately.
Hey, yes, I have.
Are those the tips that you were talking about, or what?
Yep. The fingertips on the rim as opposed to the flight plate. And finishing with your thumb up.
Yeah, instead of palm up.
Yep.
Because that would indicate that your fingers are on the flight plate.
Yep.
Turn to the flight plate. If you turn them sideways, thumb up is how you want to
thumb
finish.
Up.
Yep. Sweet.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay, so last thing. Thank you very much for that tip, Robert. I apologize. I did forget.
Man, I'm glad it was so important.
Well,
Gosh,
it's something new.
Gosh,
so we're trying to get it into the rotation.
Man.
Good thing I remembered.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
Eric, for reminding
I have
us.
one friend around here.
And then,
Gosh.
last thing we're going to do is give away the Trespass from the Secret Super Subscriber giveaway. Remember, if you're a subscriber, there are times that I
Secret Super Subscriber giveaway.
You like that made up name. I like to record quick episodes where I just simply give out a code word. I don't upload it to the website or the Facebook group. I simply record it and upload it to the podcast feed. So make sure you subscribe somehow on your iPhone, your Android podcast app, Stitcher. Go to iTunes and subscribe no matter how, so you know that you'll get an episode. So we're going to give away. We had 283 responses. So thank you guys for that.
That's awesome.
To Jeep.
Well, to Jeep, one of the cool things that I did is I actually put one survey question because I like to gather information, just interesting. And I asked people, where do you watch disc golf videos? And I put either on your smart TV, your gaming console, or your mobile device, or you don't watch disc golf videos. And then I left it open for people to put other stuff. Overwhelming 77.7% people said they watch it on their mobile device.
That's what I would have thought. Yeah.
I knew it was going to be big, but man, that's really cool. I think that's interesting. 30% said on their smart TV, 23% said on their gaming console, and one guy said, "I don't watch disc golf videos."
Later,
no,
He doesn't watch them.
No, he just says, "I don't watch." I put that as an option. So anyway, so how we pick one
person.
So anyway, so 283 responses. What do? How I do this? I go to random.org. And I put the number 2 because of the columns. I'm using Google Sheets. So we go from 2 to 284 since there's 283 entrants. And number 1 is the labeling. And we say generate a random number. And it generates the number. Hit the button. Generates number 40. And that is Spencer Howell.
Attaboy, Spencer.
Spencer Howell is the winner.
He's the super secret subscriber
giveaway.
Super secret subscriber winner of the trespass.
So congratulations, Spencer. I've got your address. I'm going to email you to confirm that. Make sure that address can receive discs, and I will get that disc out to you. Congratulations. Remember, stay tuned, guys. Remember, follow us on Anchor and follow us on your favorite podcast app. We'll see you next episode. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you do me a huge favor, head out to iTunes or even on Stitcher and go rate and review our show. It would really help us out. Thank you so much.